Well, good morning. This is Dave Johnston with Day Trade in the Markets. We're looking at a 2-minute chart of the Mini Dow futures contract for the December. And you can see here that, well, let me just kind of set this up a little bit. I first of all should go ahead and put my sell stop in, which I'm going to put just below the low of the day. And as you can see here, that's at 180.82. So I'm going to put this stop just below there at 180.79. So sell stop right there. So just to kind of take a look at what happened yesterday, you can see here that yesterday's market had a gap open higher. It did sell off during the day, but it did create higher values. We kind of had a tough time getting above here. We did hold above it here briefly in the very early session today, first 30 minutes or so. Now we've got this really aggressive selling bar in here. The magenta bar is our most aggressive selling bar, and it's come down into an area where we've got a lot of volume from yesterday. And so what I'm really looking at is the market rejecting these lower prices. You can see it popped up here, decelerated, which is this triangle above this bar, and then came back down. But you notice it also decelerated on the way down and did not make a new low for the day. So as soon as this bar was taken out, I went ahead and got long. So that's the reason behind this trade and the actual trade entry location. So we're long 4 here. So at and turns out we're long at exactly 18,100. So I'm going to go ahead and put a sell stop in here at, well, I'm sorry, I've already got the sell stop in here. I meant sell limit. I'm going to put in a sell limit up in here at 20. So that's just below today's high. So I'm expecting that area to get tested. We'll see what happens with that, and just kind of take it from there. So that's where we're at on this particular trade. I'll pause the recording and pick it up when I need to either adjust the stop or we get filled. Okay, I'll pause it now. Okay, just restarted the recording here. We did get a little bit of a dip. It came down to roughly our entry. We're getting closer to our first objective here, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust the stop. The market has moved about 15 or so ticks in our favor. I'm going to adjust the stop here to break even. So just want to bring you up to date on that. And obviously we still have the objective there at 20. So that's really all I wanted to say right now. And see if we can get filled on here. And I'll once again go ahead and pause the recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarted the recording. So we just got filled a second ago here on that first order that we had, our first objective, which is right here at 120, 120 right there. I'm just going to make a mark on here so we can know exactly where we're standing on this stuff. And of course we've got our break-even stop in down here. Now we have been filled on half the position. The initial position was 4, so we got exited on half of that. So I need to make the adjustment not just on the location but the amount. So that's our stop is now for 2. You see we are getting some green bars in here, which is nice. So I'm going to raise the stop just below this most recent wave of buying these green bars. That's at 81.05. So I'm going to raise it up to 81.04. So and what I'll also do there is just put in a marker there. There we go. So we've got that going on. Okay, so that's really about it on the Mini Dow. I'll go ahead and pause the recording and we'll pick it up as the market dictates. We got everything in place for the time being. Okay, the market has come up nicely. It's gotten up as high as 35, and we're long, of course, from 181 even. So 18,100 even. So I'm going to raise the stop just a little bit more here, just below that most recent, or not the most recent, but this level 1 buying bar. Of course, we do have yesterday's high over here, and I'll just mark that. This is an obvious target for the market right in here, 18,143. So I moved the stop up to 18,111, locking about 11 ticks on the second two contracts here. So I think what I will do as well is go ahead and put in a sell limit just below yesterday's high. And so that was at 143. I'll put it at 140. So I'll try and sell one at 140 on that. In the meantime, we've got our stop in place. So, we've protected our position here. I'll move that marker up to here. So anyway, I just wanted to bring you up to date on that, and I'll go ahead and pause the recording again. Okay, just resuming the recording here. This is the crude market, and as you can see, I had an order down here right after the news was released, and it shot up, and then I put this buy limit in. It did not quite get filled, as you can see. It got down to 55. I was trying to get long at 52. So I put in this buy stop in here just for two contracts in this case, because I've placed this line up here, horizontal line, at $52 even, which is a barrier. So, and kind of the next target higher. So I've put in this order here to buy it. We're now long 2 from 85. First objective on that is just 95. So, but a lot of consolidation after the big aggressive blue buying bar here. And the fact that when it did come down, it had a nice deceleration, as you can see right here. So first of all, I had this deceleration after the initial up move, came down, almost got us filled and decelerated, paused for a bit, and now we're having this continuation higher. So that's the reasoning for the trade and the actual entry and so forth. So anyway, we'll see if we can get filled on our first objective here. It's got to move another few ticks. And as far as our stop is concerned for these two contracts, I'm going to put it just below this blue bar right in here, and the low of that is down there at 70. So I'm going to put it just 69. Sell stop 2 at 69 right there. Okay, so and we'll see what we get on this bar that's being formed right now. These are 2-minute bars for the December crude contract. Okay, it just came up and hit our price. Okay, we got filled. So I'm going to reduce this stop down to just 1 because we've been filled on 1. So go ahead and do that. Let's see, make that adjustment here. 1 contract there. So okay, so we got to hit our first objective on that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a marker in there. So that was right here. And our other marker, of course, is where we got long right here. And I'm going to leave this buy limit in way down here at 52 just in case it does turn. I somehow doubt that, but I'll just leave it for the time being. And the sell stop at 1 here. Now we made 10. I'm just going to do a 85-75 stop. So we've made 10 ticks on our stop for the first half of the position, and we got a stop in here at for 10 ticks on the second half. So no worse than a break-even scenario here. And, we'll see if the market continue up above the the $52 level. 52.40 is the next target after that. So every time we get a blue bar in here, we just had one. So I'm going to adjust the stop just a tick below that blue bar right there. So you can see that this most recent, the previous bar was a blue bar, and it's right here. The low is at 70. No, I'm sorry, that's not correct. 82, yeah, so our stop's at 81. Okay, so and we'll see what we get on this bar right here. So let's go over and take a look and see how our Mini Dow is doing. Okay, it's moving up. We just got filled because we had that sell limit in. You can see we're down to 1 contract here. Our objective, if you recall, was at 40. I forgot to put a marker in there, but you can tell down here we only have 1 contract left. So did get filled there. So I'm going to reduce that down, obviously, on the stop to 1 contract. And I'm going to tuck it just underneath, just like I did in the crude. You can see we've got a blue bar here, so I'm going to go ahead, and the low on that bar is at 27, so I got my stop in at 25. So we've locked in another 25 ticks on the final, and I'll make adjustment on this marker right here and put it up at this level as well, which is at 25. So there we go on that one. So that's looking good. I think we're okay on this one for now. Let's go back to our crude. Okay, it's tussling a little bit with that $52 area that we expected. So it could pull back and still move higher. We've got our stop in place. What is our risk now? We're long from 85, so our risk is just 4 ticks on this trade on the second half of the position. So we'll just allow this to keep on moving like this, and when we go ahead and make any other adjustments on stops or fills and so forth, I'll go ahead and start the recording or resume the recording. For now, I'll just go ahead and put it on pause. Okay, just resume the recording again. We're getting some good buying here in the crude. You can see we've got since it started to rally here, it's we've got 2 blues, a light green, and another 2 greens. So these 2 greens here, the full green. So this is all different levels of aggression. Blue, the strongest level of aggression. Light green, the weakest level of aggression, and green, the medium level of aggression. So we are moving above the $52 mark, which we had identified as a likely barrier. And so with this pair of greens in here, you can see the low of that green is at 92, the first green, the lower of the 2. So the low of that one is at 92. So I'm going to raise the stop up here to 90. There it is right there. So stop is now at 90. We're long from 85. So we've locked in 5 ticks on the second half of the position. I know that's not a lot, but at any rate, that's okay, because we just want to manage this trade and see if it can really start to gather some more momentum and stay above $52 and remain above $52. Maybe pause up in this area, come back down perhaps another 5 or 10 ticks or so, and then continue on higher. So we entered this trade with just 2 contracts on this. So we'll just go ahead and let this play out, and we've got our stop in place. So let's go over now and take a look at so the YM is doing well. It's here it is here. We've got also blue and then a green, so you can see this green bar here has a low at 181.42. So I'm going to raise this stop to 181.40. As it turns out, that was our second objectives too. So at any rate, we'll just put a marker in there. So we just have the 1 contract left on here. Of course, we're long here from 181 even. We exited 2 contracts at 181.20 and 1 contract here at 181.40, and we're still holding that. So both these trades are looking good. We've got our stops in place, and I'll go ahead and pause the recording again. Okay, just picked up the recording again here in the crude. We did have a little dip here. I've got the arrow showing it. So I'm going to go ahead. The low of that bar, by the way, is at 52.01. So I'm going to bring this stop right up to 5200. That'll lock in 15 ticks on the second half of this position. So just want to bring you up to date on that. And once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording. Taking a look here at the Mini Dow. It did have a dip in here and a nice decel. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the stop. The low on that decel is at 181.48. So I'm going to tuck it up right in there. I'm going to get this fairly tight stop to 47, just a tick below it. I know that we've got the yesterday's high up here, but and we have moved above it. But if this market should have some follow through here, it could easily dip and maybe even test down towards the low of this blue. So rather than have it, fall some, 15 to 20 ticks against me, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and just place that stop in there. So Okay, it's anyway, just want to bring you up to date on that, and we'll just keep monitoring it. I want to adjust my marker in here to 47. So we'll just keep monitoring that. As far as our crude trade is going, yeah, it's looking good. It's continuing to stay above 52, which is what we wanted to see. We have had a couple of other green bars here. You can see the low of this green bar is right here at 08. So I'm going to raise the stop on that one to 52.05. So we'll lock in 20 ticks on the second half of the position on this trade. So just go ahead and put that marker right in there. So that's it for now. And once again, I will pause the recording. Okay, just resume the recording. We just got stopped here, as you can see, just a moment ago at 47. So just a quick recap here. Go ahead and make that. We had our entry here at 181 even, and we got out of the first two contracts at 181.20. So we're able to get 40 ticks on that. The second exit was from 181 to 181.40, so we're able to get 40 ticks on that. And this last one we exited up here at 47, and that was also just for one contract, so that's 47 there. So our total on that particular trade was 127 ticks. And each tick is $5 in value in the Mini Dow contract. So that's 120 times 5 would be $600. Because every 20 ticks would be $100, so that's 607 times 5, 635. So it's about a $635 trade, less commission on that. So anyway, just wanted to put that in there. Just for those of you not all that familiar with the Mini Dow, we don't trade it as a regular market, but it's very closely related to the ES and E-mini S&P, I should say. So, and it just seemed to have more strength today than the E-mini S&P, and I want to try and buy the E-mini going into today after its recent action. So, anyway, that's the uptake on the YM. Let's go back to our crude. Okay, our crude is just kind of hanging out in here. We do have our stop still at 52.05. So we'll just leave that for now and pause the recording. Okay, I just restarted the recording again. I wanted to tell you that the next target was up here at 52.40. So I put a sell limit in for the other contract here at 52.35. We still have our existing stop in here at 52.05, being long from the original position here at 51.85. So just bring you up to date on that, and once again, go ahead and pause the recording. Just want to resume the recording. We are getting a bit of a sell-off here, so obviously we're in jeopardy of being stopped out. Okay, we just got stopped out at 52.05. So we were long right here from 51.85 to 52.05. So 20 ticks on that and 10 ticks on the first. So just do a quick rundown there on that one. We only had the two contracts on that, so 10 ticks on the first and 20 on the second for a total of 30 ticks. And of course in the crude it's at $10 per tick. So obviously a $300 profit on that particular trade. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that. It was an interesting day in both of these markets, of course, and the crude was on the heels of the inventory news being released, which of course is done every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So we waited for that to take place, and then we're able to get in on a trade on the long side, which coincided with our analysis, which was the crude is in an intraday up auction, so that trade worked nicely. And as you can tell, I mean, I think the beauty of the day trade the market software is we're able to identify not only likely direction, but some really good trade entry points, and then how to use the software to manage the trade. So, when we did get in here long, you can see the market only pulled back, and it was just 2 or 3 ticks of that, and then continued on higher. So worked out really well in that regard. And Obviously, by the way, I need to cancel that. I'm going to leave this buy limit in. Should the market come down and get filled here, I'll do another video on that. But just to finish off this video, and just wanted to say a recap on this particular trade in the YM today in the Mini Dow was that we also been in an up auction, although it was kind of also sideways. It wasn't as pronounced, in our opinion, in the stock market in the YM and the ES. But we did have a nice move up yesterday that opened higher and sold off in a weak fashion. And so when we opened here today and had this aggressive selling that got rejected, we were able to get long here. And as you can see also, market never moved against us and had a nice run up in here. It really worked out well on this particular trade. So just a quick recap on how the trades went today. So I hope you enjoyed watching those trades for setup for the trade, sort of the lay of the land, why the trade was taken, how the day trade the market software was used to identify the trade entry, and for also the trade management. So thanks so much for